Hello Choppers and welcome to Logan Chop's Quickie preview of Haunticulture. Haunticulture is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and plays in about 60 minutes. In this ghoulish gardening game, players use their gardener monsters to acquire tiles of either plants or ornaments from the board to plant on their special garden over here to obtain points. At the beginning of the game, players will lay out greenhouse cards either in a 4x3 grid or a 3x3 grid if you're playing for 1 to 3 players. And then we'll take the bag full of tiles, give it a shake, and take out one and place it on each of the greenhouse tiles. Players will each take their 5x5 garden grid and place 2 coins in each quarter and 1 coin in the middle. They will then take their cards that have a special symbol in the upper left corner and the tokens that are associated with said cards. They will also shuffle up the special monster deck and turn out 4 of the special monster cards. Then they will take the secret objective deck, shuffle it, and deal 2 cards to each player, and then they will choose 1 from those 2 cards and discard the other one to the box. Secret objective cards are kept secret, like the name suggests, until the end of the game for scoring points. Like you see this one, you get 2 victory points for each gold coin you have at the end of the game, to a maximum of 12 victory points. Or this other one where you get 2 victory points for each pumpkin that's next to a gnome in your garden, of course to a maximum of 12. Each player's starting deck starts out with 4 zombie cards, a skeleton, and a ghoul card. The game is played over 4 rounds, and each round has 3 phases: the gardening phase, the planting phase, and the tidy up phase. In the gardener phase, each player will take turns placing cards from their hand into the grid here on the board. Cards, whenever they are placed, if they are the only one of that type that is in a row or a column, you will be able to do the 1 card ability. Here's like gain 1 coin for this zombie. If you have 3 of the same type in a row or column, you will be able to do the 3 card ability here. You can see take any plant. So in this circumstance, if 3 zombie cards were played in a row, you'd be able to take a plant from anywhere in the greenhouse section, like this evil eyeball. Tokens, when they are taken, are placed over next to your planting board for later on in the planting phase. Tokens taken from the greenhouse in this way are immediately replaced with one from the bag. If a player does not want to play a card from their hand, they can choose to discard one and pay gold to acquire one of these special monster cards from the side and place it into the grid instead. Like this rag and bones skeleton. It costs 2 gold to play. If there's 1 of the skeletons in a row, you'll get to dig. Dig means you get to pull up anything in your planting tile, any square. And if a plant tile is dug up, you gain 3 gold. Of course, if there's 3 skeletons in a row, you'll get to dig twice. If you do buy one of these special cards, you will place one of your tiles on it to keep track of later, because that card will go into your deck to replace the one that you discarded. Players continue in this fashion, playing 3 cards each until the grid is completely filled in. Then they will go row by row and column by column, counting up the total points. We can see here in the top row that red has 6 points total and yellow has 5 points. So the player with the most points will get their choice of which tile they want at either the beginning or the end of that row. And the player with the second amount of points will get the other tile. If there happens to be a 3rd or 4th player that has points in that row or column, they will get 1 gold each. After the gardener phase is the planting phase, where players will take their tiles and plant them in spaces on their 5x5 planting board. Now there are 2 different types of tiles. There are ornament tiles and there are plant tiles, which, as you can see, score different points depending on where they are in the end game. So players will refer to these scoring cards when they are placing their ornament or plants. Now, you have to place every single plant tile that you've acquired during the game, but you can choose to place your ornaments if you want to. You do not have to place all your ornament tiles. After all players are done planting their tiles during the planting phase, you'll proceed to the tidy up phase. During the tidy up phase, everybody will take back their monster cards that they have on the board, completely clearing the grid. If there happen to be any tiles that are left on the greenhouse cards, they will be discarded to the box, and then the bag will be shook up again, and new tiles will be placed out for the next round. Also, the special monster row here will be discarded, and 4 new monsters will be turned out. Then the first player token will be passed to the player to the left, and you'll proceed with the next round. After the 4th round, each player will total up all points they have. They will consult the scoring cards and score all the ornaments and plants that they have in their planting square there. Then they will put their scores on the special score sheet for each ornament and plant, and also take into account their special objective card that they've had during the game. The player with the highest amount of victory points wins Haunticulture. Haunticulture is launching on Kickstarter on October 22nd, 2020, so make sure to keep an eye out for it. I'm Logan for Logan Chop's Quickie Previews. We'll see you next time. Happy gaming.